Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised that He's never going to test or try us except that there will always be ease along with and also after that trial. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that those who are patient will taste the fruits of their patience. And therefore, after the lowest downs, if you like, in the life of the Prophet and the most traumatic incidents, it was only natural that the Prophet would then be gifted by one of the all-time highs. Some scholars have said this is the greatest miracle that the Prophet has been given personally. And that is the incident of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. Al-Isra means the night journey that the Prophet undertook from Mecca to Jerusalem. Mi'raj actually means the, if you like, item or the mechanism of rising up high. But we refer to it as the actual ascension, not the apparatus, but what the Prophet ﷺ did, and that is to rise up to the heavens. And so Al-Isra from Mecca to Jerusalem, Al-Mi'raj from Jerusalem to the heavens. Subhanalladhi asra bi'abdihi laylan. All praise be to Allah, or may Allah be exalted, because He has taken His abd in one night, laylan, min al-masjid al-harami ila al-masjid al-aqsa. From the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca to the Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, alladhi barakna hawlahu. This Jerusalem, Allah is saying, we have blessed the land around it. Linuriyahu min ayatina. So that we may show Him of our wondrous miracles. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَا كَذَبَ الْفُؤَادُ مَا رَأَى. That the chest is not lying, the heart is not lying when it narrates what he saw. أَفَتُمَارُونَهُ عَلَى مَا يَرَى. Are you gonna doubt what he saw? وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ نَزْلَةً أُخْرَى عِنْدَ سِدْرَةِ الْمُنْتَهَى عِنْدَهَا جَنَّةُ الْمَأْوَى. And indeed He saw Him for a second time. He saw Him at the Sidrat al-Muntaha. إِذْ يَغْشَى سِدْرَ مَا يَغْشَى مَا زَاغَ الْبَصَرُ وَمَا طَغَى. The eyes did not go beyond their mark. They didn't blink, they didn't become scared. لَقَدْ رَأَى مِنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِ الْكُبْرَى. He saw of the miraculous signs of his Lord. Notice, لَقَدْ رَأَى مِنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِ الْكُبْرَى لِنُرِيَهُ مِنْ آيَاتِنَا الْكُبْرَى. You see the parallel? Both surahs mention Isra wal Mi'raj with one reason, and that is to show our Prophet ﷺ the magnificent signs of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. The first question, when did it happen? Probably the strongest position, around a year before the Hijrah. The second question, where did it happen from? The Prophet ﷺ said that when I was in the Hatim, lying down, Jibreel came to me. So this is the most authentic version. There is another version. The Prophet ﷺ says that when I was in my house, I saw the roof open up and Jibreel come to me. Ibn Hajar says this shows that he was in his house and Jibreel first took him to the Hatim. What is Al-Hatim? It is the semicircular region that is outside of the Kaaba. And he says that in the Hatim, Jibreel opened up my chest and he brought a bowl made out of gold that was full of, in one version it says Zamzam, in another version it says full of Iman. And he took out my heart and washed it and put it back. Then Jibreel brought me a dabba. Dabba is a beast, it's an animal. دون البغل وفوق الحمار. It is smaller than a mule and larger than a donkey. أبيض, pure white. And it was called Al-Buraq. And Al-Buraq of course comes from the root of lightning, right? So it's lightning speed. And the Prophet ﷺ explained that it puts its hoof, every hoof of this buraq, it puts it as far as the eye can see. According to another report in Tirmidhi, the Prophet ﷺ said it had a muzzle on it. You know what you put on the harness? It had a harness on it and it had a saddle. Jibreel was holding on to the harness and the Prophet ﷺ stepped onto Al-Buraq. He basically mounted Al-Buraq. What does an animal do that is mounted by a strange person? Jumps up, it neighs, right? So Buraq tried to do that. And Jibreel basically smacked him. Jibreel yanked the harness and he said, "Woe to you! Alam tastahi, are you not ashamed? For wallahi, no one has ridden you more blessed in the eyes of Allah than your current rider." And the Prophet ﷺ said that I rode him and he took me until we came to Baytul Maqdis. And I tied Al-Buraq to the animal post that is used by the Prophets. I went inside and I prayed 2 rak'at. According to one narration, the Prophet ﷺ prayed 2 rak'at, and when he turned around, فَالْتَفَتُّ فَرَأَيْتُ جَمِيعَ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ. He saw all of the Prophets lying behind him. From the other narration that we have, the Prophet ﷺ actually says that I saw myself with the other prophets, and there was Musa praying, قائم يصلي, and he was a tall and strong and muscular man of a brownish color, as if he is a man from the tribe of Shanu'a. And in fact, our Prophet ﷺ said that when I was going to Isra wal Mi'raj, I passed by the grave of Musa. So this means he passed by his grave, and then Allah took him to Masjid al-Aqsa, right? And then Allah took him to the sixth heaven. So he met Musa 3 times. And I saw Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam standing and praying. And the one who looks most like him is Urwa ibn Mas'ud al-Thaqafi. In another version, the Prophet ﷺ said he was whitish in color. Of course, the Arabic is red. As I said before, the Arabs called white people red. And his hair glistened with water, as if he had come out of a steam bath, and he is a rather short man compared to Musa. And then he said, and I saw Ibrahim alayhi salam qa'imun yusalli. Notice, Isa standing and praying, Musa standing and praying, Ibrahim is standing and praying, right? As he enters the masjid. And the one who resembles him the most is your own companion, meaning himself. All of the prophets he's seeing are already standing and praying. And this shows us the importance of salah, that even after death, at least for Ibrahim and Musa, as for Isa, he's still alive, the prophets are praying. And then it came the time to salah. فَحَانَتِ الصَّلَاةِ فَأَمَمْتُهُمْ. So I was put the imam of them. So this version has it that he knew exactly what's going on. But the main point is, he is leading the Anbiya and the Mursaleen behind him. He is the imam of all of the prophets. Not only this, but by extension, since every prophet is the leader of his ummah, and the Prophet ﷺ is leading the prophets who lead all the individual ummahs, our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the leader of every single ummah. I.e., as he himself said, أَنَا سَيِّدُ وَلَدِ آدَمَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَلَا فَخْرٍ. He is the Sayyid. The Sayyid here means the leader, the master. He is the Sayyid of all of the children of Adam on the day of judgment. And then he said, I'm not saying this, astaghfirullah, to boast or be arrogant. This is just a fact. Then he says that after he finished, in this version, Jibreel comes to him right now and presents 2 utensils. In another version, Jibreel does this when they ascend up to the heavens. One of them has khamr and the other one has laban, right? So there's wine and there is milk. Wine is still halal. The Muslims of Mecca are drinking wine. And Jibreel says, choose, and choose for your ummah. So the Prophet ﷺ chose the milk, and Jibreel says, you have chosen the fitrah. Asabta, you have chosen the right one, and that is the fitrah. That is when the Jibreel came to him, and the Prophet ﷺ says, Jibreel asked permission for the doors of the heavens to open. And the gatekeeper behind the door asked, who is it? So Jibreel says, it is Jibreel. And the gatekeeper said, do you have anybody? And Jibreel said, yes, I have with me Muhammad ﷺ. The gatekeeper says, has he been sent for? Jibreel says, yes. So then the doors open up. So for every single one of the 7 heavens, the same story happens. They get to the 2nd heaven and it's closed. Jibreel asks permission. The gatekeeper says, who is there? Jibreel says, it's Jibreel. He says, is anybody with you? The same conversation. Every single one of the 7 heavens. The Prophet ﷺ goes to the first door opens, and there is a man standing. The Prophet ﷺ described him as being tall, huge. And Jibreel says, this is your father Adam, so say salam to him. So the Prophet ﷺ said salam, and Adam responded and said, Marhaban bil ibn as-salih wal nabiy as-salih. Welcome, O noble son and O noble prophet. Welcome, O righteous son and O righteous prophet. In the 2nd heaven, there is Yahya and Isa ibnay al-Khal, i.e. their 2 mothers were sisters, right? So Maryam and her sister, and the Prophet ﷺ was told, this is Yahya and Isa, say salam to them. And so I said salam to them, and they said, welcome, O noble brother and O noble prophet. Then the 3rd heaven, and in the 3rd heaven was Yusuf alayhi salam. And the same thing, welcome, O noble brother and O noble prophet. And here is where the Prophet ﷺ said the famous phrase, I saw Yusuf, and lo and behold, it was as if he had been given half of all beauty. Shatr al-Husn. Then I went up to the 4th heaven, and in the 4th was Idris alayhi salam. And Idris also says, welcome, O noble brother and O noble prophet. Then I go up to the 5th heaven, and there is Harun, and the same, welcome, O noble brother and noble prophet. I go up to the 6th heaven, and there is Musa. Then I went up, Musa began to cry. So he was asked, why are you crying? So Musa says, I am crying because this young man who was sent after me shall have a larger following that will enter Jannah than my own ummah. And then he said that I went up to the seventh heaven, the same question back and forth with Jibreel, and then I saw Ibrahim alayhi salam, and he was sitting with his back leaning on the Al-Baytul Ma'mur. What is Al-Baytul Ma'mur? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions وَالطُّورِ وَكِتَابٍ مَسْطُورٍ فِي رَقٍّ مَنْشُورٍ وَالْبَيْتِ الْمَعْمُورِ. It's in the Quran, Surah Al-Tur. Al-Baytul Ma'mur means the frequented house. The only information we have about Al-Baytul Ma'mur is that the Prophet ﷺ said it is a house similar to the Kaaba. In one version it is the Kaaba of the heavens. Just like there's a Kaaba on earth. In another version it is above the Kaaba on earth, such that if it were to fall, it would fall on the Kaaba on this earth. So it is above the Kaaba of this earth. And every single day since Allah has created the creation, 70,000 angels enter Al-Bayt Al-Ma'mur to basically do tawaf and pray, and those 70,000 never return, and every single day this happens. And Ibrahim is there because he is the one who built the Kaaba on earth, so he deserves to be associated with the Kaaba in the heavens. And Jibreel said to me, this is your father Ibrahim, هذا أبوك Ibrahim, say salam to him. And so the Prophet ﷺ said salam to him, and Ibrahim responded the exact same way that Adam had responded. Notice the beginning and the end of the same response, right? Welcome, O noble son, and O noble prophet. So notice the dabba or buraq is still tied at the post, okay? So the journey is very simple. From Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa. From Masjid al-Aqsa up to the heavens, then he's going to come back down and then use buraq to get back to Mecca.